you. So sorry. Okay. So tonight we have Miriam Stein Battles with us. She's the editorial director of Wild Eye magazine. Her career has focused on nature and conservation photo editing. She has worked on magazines, books, and websites for nonprofits such as the National Geographic Society, Conservation International, the Nature Conservancy, and Ocean Geographic Society. National Geographic and Nature Conservancy we have partnered with on previous Our Planet exhibitions. Miriam is a founding affiliate to the International League of Conservation Photographers and a board advisor to Sea Safe Foundation and Girls Who Click. Love the name of that. She's an accomplished photographer in her own right, but loves viewing the work of others. And so I'm going to stop sharing my screen momentarily, and I'm going to pin Miriam and turn the floor over to her.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. David, I'm not sure do you want me to start off with a description of who I am and what I do, or should we just jump into it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let's introduce yourself and what you do, and that'd be
So
great.
my name is Miriam Stein Battles, and I've been a photo editor for 23 years, focusing on nature, conservation, and education. I have worked for those nonprofits and numerous others to try to get the word out and the photos out to illustrate the words about conservation issues. I've also worked for Environmental Defense Fund, National Parks Conservation Association, and now I am the editorial director of Wild Eye magazine, which is a new digital nature photography magazine. You can check it out at www.wildeyemagazine.com, and you can browse the website before subscribing. And there's always some kind of promo code going around. So if anybody is interested in subscribing and cannot find a promo code, you can get in touch with me at Miriam at wildeyemagazine.com. So Wild Eye was actually supposed to fill in the hole left by Outdoor Photographer magazine when it died a couple years ago. And there's been some drama because we hired some of Outdoor Photographer's staff, and then Outdoor Photographer was the dead magazine was sold to another company and resurrected. So now we have some more competition than we thought we were going to have with a brand new nature photography magazine. We do hope to go to print, and our goal is to print like a beautiful coffee table collectible magazine. Um, and we're just trying to get enough subscribers to justify going to print. So please come join our community. We're taking a really different look at the way nature photography has been done in the past, and we're bringing a lot of new kinds of work and new styles to light and to our viewers and audience. Um, and I was delighted to be asked to judge this competition because obviously it focuses on conservation and nature, so it seemed like a perfect fit. Um, and what I do at Wild Eye, I should describe it a little bit, I suppose. I am now I'm now not only the photo editor, but I'm basically like the only editor that works at Wild Eye. I do all of the articles, editing, assigning, photo editing, and working with the photographers who contribute their essays to make sure, they're great, as good as they can be. And I do some management of social media and the website too. And we do have a couple of other staff, but we are a small team, so everybody wears a lot of hats. And it is easily my favorite job I've ever had. It's a great magazine. The people that work for it are wonderful. I love the photos we publish. So I really do encourage you to check it out. Some of the work is like a little older school, like Thomas Mangelson, and some of the work is by newer up and coming or up in there photographers, like Ruben Wu, who's doing some very interesting work. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he does a drone photography at night and in nature. So he gets these really cool light patterns in a beautiful landscape. So check us out, and we'd love to have you join our community. Um, I think that about covers it. So should we open the gates for everybody,
Yeah, yeah, we can just go ahead and
or
move
one
in.
person at a time, maybe?
Yeah, I've got their photographs set up in the deck. So what I'm
Oh,
going to
great.
do is I'm going to go back to sharing my PowerPoint, and I'm going to unpin you. Okay. So these are the works and the artist of Our Planet 2025. These are the featured artists that are in this show. If you haven't had a chance to get by the gallery yet and see the show, it looks fantastic. So we're going to be starting off with Alberto Cardosa. He has two works. This first one here is called Through the Gray. So Alberto, you are up.
Hey, can you guys see me? No, right? You guys are looking
We,
at the photo.
we are looking at the photo.
Yes,
Good.
we can't
Perfect.
tell that you're in a car or anything.
Oh, okay, yeah. So look, I was gonna apologize. I just had to be here since I'm in traffic.
No
So
worries. I was just joking with you. Happy
yeah,
you can join us.
I warned David about this, so hopefully it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
We're
But
just
hey,
giving
I
you a
just want
hard
to thank you
time.
Congratulations.
guys. Look, yeah, I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity, and thank you, Miriam, for looking at my photos, and David and APG and everyone. Um, uh, Brian, right? Gallardo, is that his name?
Yeah, Brian Galgano. He's our assistant gallery
Yes.
director.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys, and just about this photo and my next photo. It's just the best feeling that I ever have is when I'm taking these type of photos when I'm in nature. Uh, and one was in 2013. The next one will be a 2025 one, and it's the same feeling. I'm always just really enjoying myself while I'm doing this.
What kind of feeling do you get when you're out in nature? I'm curious.
Uh, it's
Is it one
almost
of peace?
undescribable. It's just peace, and I just don't want to leave, or I just want to come back there 50 times to get the light that I imagine, and just to see how it looks in different type of weathers. But it's just I just want to sit there and be there. Yeah.
That's how I feel about the ocean. Well, I loved these two photos because the first one has beautiful layers from the foreground to the background of the evergreen trees sprinkled in amongst the other trees turning for fall foliage. I think it's a lovely photo, and it has a serene feel to it, as does the next one.
Yeah, it's like this day in 2012. It was we were riding up the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it was cloudy, and as we went above a little above the clouds, and but it was still like foggy, and it turned out great. It was just such an awesome day.
It does have the look of the Blue Ridge Mountains. That's interesting. And where is this next photo from with the two trees? Where was that taken?
This was in January of this year. I had a job in Colorado, and we drove there with the equipment, and it's like 23 hours, and for the first 18, 19 hours is just, America is beautiful everywhere, but once you get to Colorado, you just drive slower, and it was cold and windy and very it was just different. You could see like the humidity of the air forming little spikes right in front of you on the tree branches, and it was foggy. It was just beautiful.
Well, great job and congratulations.
Yeah, and I've never experienced this type of cold because I've always lived in Georgia. So my skin, when the wind hits your skin and it's that cold, I realize that it burns, and like I got a reaction, but yeah, I still stayed outside until I could.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Alberto. Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys again. I really appreciate the opportunity.
And this work, Mystical Pre-Dawn, is by Alan Finkelman, who is also with us this evening. So, Alan, tell us about this photograph.
Okay, this work was improperly titled Mystical Pre-Dawn, with the detail in the water. This was clearly after dawn. In the pre-dawn, the water would be smoother, flatter, due to longer shutter speeds. So if this doesn't sell in this show, which is the first time it's been shown, I will rename it Mystical Dawn. But in any case, I like to shoot in nature because I like to be in nature, but I don't consider myself a nature photographer. What you'll notice is that I try and reduce my photographs to 2 dimensions. You'll never see leading lines or depth in my photographs. Everything flattens, and I'm interested in abstract relationships. I'm interested in atmosphere over subject. I'm interested in geometry over geography. So the place matters way less than the relationships between elements. So when I am looking through a viewfinder or in days gone by through a ground glass, I'm looking at elements and not subjects. And that holds true with whatever subject I'm looking at. It doesn't have to be water or nature. It's the same if I'm shooting a cityscape or architecture or any other subject, including subjects with people. The people become elements of an image as well. So I'm always looking to flatten and and find an atmosphere. And my images will fall on a spectrum from abstract on one end to representation on the other end, and it never gets to all the way abstract. It always holds on to some level of representation, but it's always, at least for me, going to hold on to some abstract elements, and it's always going to hopefully hold on to atmosphere.
Yes, well, I challenge you. I'm curious why you would call this photo flat when it has such beautiful contrast and so many lovely layers leading from the front to the center of the picture.
Yes, it certainly has layers, and that is typical of my photography. It will have horizontal layers. But when I say flat, I don't mean flat in terms of contrast. I mean flat in terms of depth. It doesn't have the typical indicators of depth, like some kind of receding line. So everything here is horizontal. There's nothing that leads the eye from front to back.
Very true and very interesting. Yes. And tell me about the clouds in this photo.
Well, the clouds. Some people have asked me if the clouds hold some kind of symbolism. For me, they don't. They're elements. I saw them and registered their existence and placed them in the frame where I thought they belonged. But they were just elements of the photograph, and viewers are certainly free to ascribe meaning to them or ascribe a story if they're so moved. I've certainly had people on Instagram, build a story around my images. I'm not a storyteller. I do never have a story associated with my images. If people see a story, great, wonderful, enjoy the story. It wasn't my intention. I shoot instinctively, and then the hard work is in editing and curating. And there's nothing harder than curating. Curating is brutally hard work.
It is indeed. And I'm curious because this photo looks so dramatic and stormy, if the weather was actually dramatic and stormy when you took it, or if it's the lighting and the settings of the camera that you used to make it look stormy.
I was trying to remember earlier today when I was thinking about what I might like to say about this image. I was living in Boca Raton in Florida. I just moved to Atlanta this past spring. I'd lived in Florida for the previous 27 years. Before that, I had an advertising studio in Manhattan for 20 years. So there, did studio still life photography, which is probably why I like to shoot in nature. It's nice to be outside after
Mhm.
being stuck inside for 20 years. In any case, what I tended to do, I lived near the ocean. I would go out and get to a place on the beach, one of the beaches, while it was still dark, and I'd shoot in the dark, and I'd shoot as the light was coming up, and I'd shoot like here, where it was just dawn, and the sun here is not showing, so it's stuck behind a cloud somewhere. So it's bright enough to light the water, but the sun is obviously not in the picture. It's not in my eyes. It's being diffused and giving me this beautiful light, and creating that kind of mystical cloud, uh, mystical light behind these three clouds.
Yes. Well, it's beautiful. Shall we take a look at the second photo?
I don't have a second photo in the
Oh, I'm
show.
so sorry.
So am I. I think maybe my other submissions were maybe a little more on the abstract side and didn't quite fit the theme.
Well, it's a beautiful photo, and I would consider you a nature photographer. Anybody who takes photos in nature, of nature, is a nature
Uh,
photographer. To me, you don't have to be an award-winning photographer to consider
okay.
yourself a nature
I'll
photographer.
tell you this. Now that I live in Georgia, Georgia is very lush. And when I lived in Florida, between the ocean and and Florida Bay and the Everglades and the wetlands, those minimal, stark uh, environments really suited my minimalist my minimalist palette. Now that Georgia is so lush, I'm still trying to figure out where I belong in terms of shooting in Georgia. I will figure it out, but so far I haven't.
I feel the same way about living in New Jersey. So maybe we can help each other out. Uh, But congratulations, I'll say, and thank you for entering this competition.
So thank you very much for selecting my photograph. I feel honored.
Great. Well, thank you, Alan. And the next two pictures are from Andrew Halliburton, who is not in attendance this evening. We have the bighorn and the aspens.
And I guess I'll
This look
just say a few things
okay.
about the photo, maybe.
Okay, yeah, these were his two
Yes.
photographs.
Yes, I remember that one. I mean, this is a really nice shot of wildlife because you have the contrast of the gray in the bighorn sheep and the bright yellow right behind them and the green in the foreground. And even though one of the sheep is not looking at the camera and you can't see its eyes, the sheep on the right side is looking perfectly at the camera. And you can even see that there are beautiful catch lights in this sheep's eyes. And that makes, in my opinion, that makes a huge difference in wildlife photography, is eye contact. Because as humans, we communicate through eye contact. And so to connect with wildlife, sometimes I think it's necessary to have eye contact. It's not always necessary, but if you really want to take a peek into the window of the behind the sheep's world, look into its eyes. They're beautiful. Um, and the next photo is another great example of a beachscape. I think, yep, I guess Astoria, Oregon, Goonies Sunset. Astoria is where Goonies the movie was filmed, and this indeed looks like the coast of Oregon, so it makes sense that this must be from the Astoria, Oregon, which is supposed to be very beautiful. Um, and I love the dark rocks and the rocks lit by the sun and the birds flying in the sky and the birds sitting on the double humped rock at the right of the photo, and then the little ripples of water in the sand in the foreground of the photo. There's just so much interesting stuff going on in this photo that I thought it was really worth recognizing. So, congratulations to Andrew Halliburton. Um, and we're sorry he can't be here tonight.
And these were printed, I think about 36 or 40 inches, and they are both very, very dramatic, hanging in the gallery.
I'm sure. Cool.
So Brian Galgano, who is at Photo Nola this evening. This is his work, Venus Sunset.
It's beautiful in its simplicity, I think. It's so simple. You've just got a brief wisp of mountains or hills at the bottom of the photo, and then this gorgeous sort of ombre layering of red to orange to yellowy bluey gray to blue, and the moon is what makes the photo amazing because I love the way that the focus of the photo is on the moon, and it is really well done because it does not follow the rule of no, it follows the rule of two-thirds. Sorry. And the moon is in the upper left corner, and you just have all of this peaceful tranquility to look at. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So
There,
congratulations to Brian as well.
there's a painter who lives in Asheville, North Carolina. His name's Larry Gray, and he does large scale paintings. And he does this same technique of like keeping the horizon very, very, very low on his canvas, and then just focusing on the sky above the landscape. Has a very similar effect to Brian's photograph.
Okay,
See,
who's
it come,
next?
and next is Carl Henry, who has two photos in the show, and also he is not here with us tonight, but he has this work here: brisk morning swim and touch wingtips and come out fighting.
Well, that's a long name for a photo, but these are both amazing examples of wildlife photography. The penguins, he caught this wonderful moment when they're all headed back out to sea to hunt for food, and they're all headed in the same direction, except and this one penguin is about to belly flop in the surf. You can tell that the others are all doing the same thing. The ones on the left are already in the water. This penguin in the foreground, kind of in the center, but not quite center, is like just teetering over and about to make a splash, a very cold splash. But what makes this photo not just, it's not just the penguins and the surf, but the composition of the photo with the clouds and the what's on the horizon, not just clouds, but some land. Um, so this is a great photo. And the next photo I love for behavior. It's a wonderful behavior of I think snowy egrets. And it's just a wonderful moment to have captured. I love it that the bird's legs on the left are hanging straight down and the both of the legs on the bird on the right are like mangled looking, even though we know they're not mangled. They're just birds. But both of these are great examples of wildlife photography. So congratulations to Carl.
Then next up, we have Christian Wayne. I believe, does he have? Yes, he has two. Um, Flight of the Valkyries
This is,
and
yeah,
Olympic Layers. Yeah.
okay. This is also a wonderful wildlife photo. And I like it because it doesn't just have one eagle in it. You see, it's not that hard to go to Alaska and take a photo of an eagle. They're everywhere. They're like pigeons. I don't know if this was taken in Alaska, but I suspect it was. Um, and both of these eagles are squawking at something. They're probably, about to come in on someone else's kill and try to steal a fish or something like that. I'm just guessing. Um, but it's really great that you've got the one eagle in the upper right and the other eagle in the lower left. And you can see the eagle's eye, just both of the eyes, just perfectly. The one in the upper right, it has a very cool composition or body position, I should call it. It looks very aggressive to me. So I'd watch out for that eagle.
And
Maybe the
yeah,
next photo.
yeah, it's Olympic Layers.
Yeah, this is beautiful. Just like what I said about Alberto's photo, I love the layers in these mountains and hills. And the layers of the mountains and hills just go on forever and then they turn into clouds. It's just beautiful. So, thank you for entering, Christian, and congratulations.
And another person that couldn't be with us here tonight, Clay Fisher's, I'm not sure how you pronounce this, Anhinga. Um, and just Clay, yeah, Clay has two images in the show as well, the female Orioles.
So I think it's pronounced Anahinga. I might
And
be wrong.
you're probably right.
And I believe it lives in Brazil or South America or Central America, maybe. But I just like the composition of the simplicity of the composition of this photo. It's a really interesting looking bird, and the green behind it is so soft. And the orange in the bird's feathers is also a kind has a softness to it. I don't know if Clay put a filter on this of some sort, but it's just got a beautiful texture through the background and also through the whole bird. The feathers on the neck, the feathers on the body, the tail feathers, the wing feathers, they are all just very interesting to look at. So I thought that this was a fascinating photo.
And the other one was the picture of the two female Orioles.
So I don't know if this would be two female Orioles because one of them is giving the other one a gift of a bug, an
Oh yeah.
insect. So I suspect it's actually a mother Oriole feeding her baby, or sharing with a male. I can't tell from the feathers if the one behind the leaves is a male, but the it looks. I would say that it's a mother feeding a baby female. Because they both are yellow. Um, so it's just a great moment to if you especially if you zoom in and look at what the birds they're facing each other perfectly. It's a loving, tender moment. And the branch, I even like the branch with the leaves and the green blurred out background. I think it's nice and soft, in texture, and it helps you really focus on the birds. So good job, Clay, and congratulations.
And next up we have Cynthia Harris. Now, Cynthia, you didn't respond, but you were in the room, aren't you? Thought I
You're
saw you.
muted, Cynthia.
Okay, yes. I didn't get an email from you. I just checked.
Okay. Did you check
Sorry.
your spam?
No, no,
Okay.
maybe it was in the spam.
I end up in a lot of spam folders, so it would not be
I
unusual.
looked under David Clifton Strawn, which I have a fair number of emails from you, but I didn't see it. But anyway,
Okay.
if you don't have time, that's fine.
No,
I'll
no,
just
no, no,
more
no.
or less be.
Please, we would
Mhm.
love to hear about your two photographs.
Well, this was taken in Africa, and I was just really lucky. The couple things I liked about it were that he's on a termite mound. And I made sure to keep the termite hole there so you could see what it was. Um, and then his eyes looking kind of straight at you. I put it a little off center. I could have put it like a square, but I decided to do it, more of a rule of thirds. Um, and the fur looks really like you could reach out and touch it and pet him. And then the background came out this purple that I kind of like.
It's a nice contrast with the yellow of the leopard and the termite mound,
Hmm.
the sort of blue-gray background. It's a beautiful photo. I love that you kept the hole in the termite mound there because it really does help identify that it is a termite mound. And my understanding, I've looked at thousands and thousands of leopard photos, and I have never seen one sitting on a termite mound. So it's a very cool moment that you captured. And I do also love that it's looking right at you. And you've got those beautiful catch lights in the eyes too.
Thank you.
I would even not object editorially or photographically to your going in and brightening the eyes or the catch lights a little bit so they stand out a little more.
Hmm.
But this is a great picture. Let's see the next one. Oh, tell us
This
about this
was
photo.
taken in Ecuador. And of course, you go and you photograph hummingbirds and you take just hundreds and hundreds of them. I've really during COVID, I got into bird photography, period. And lately, I've gotten into two bird photography. We've had two birds in the previous photos that we've seen tonight, and just kind of seeing them relate to each other. So I am developing a two bird portfolio. Then I have
Oh,
about
that's so cool.
15. Yeah, yeah. Again, I'm a fanatic about the catch light, and
Good.
the eye has to be in focus. So, um, didn't
That's
quite
what makes
stop
this
for
photo.
and the
Is the
flower.
catch light in the eye of the bird in the back.
Uh-huh, right. The front not quite as good, and then the flower. So, and then the background is a nice, blurred and a nice. There's some lighting in there that's attractive.
Yes, I agree. I think the lighting in the background is really simple but interesting still. And the yellow, like the kind of ores of yellow that run through the background, bring out the yellow in the flower. But we know the hummingbirds are there for the red, right?
Hmm.
Um, and do you know what species of hummingbird this is?
Um,
I don't know. I'm just curious.
oh, I can't, and it's not coming to me. Ecuador has 118
There are
species.
so many species. Yeah,
Illinois, I'm from Illinois, and we have the ruby-throated, and that's it.
right,
Um, I want
right.
to say violet something or other, but I could take a picture of it and
It's probably called something like a green-backed hummingbird. That's how
if
generally
people
they're
are
named.
not familiar with Merlin, there's an app called Merlin, and you can identify with a photo or with sound what species of birds it is.
Yes, it's a cool app
It's
run through the
wonderful.
Cornell
Or no, yeah,
Ornithology,
exactly.
lab. Great. Well,
Well,
thanks for entering and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
and next up, we have David Provost with his photograph SM number 5 from the series Images of Stone Mountain. So, David, why don't you tell us about this photograph? Are you muted? Let's see, where are you? There he is. David, I think you're muted. It's, brought in reinforcements.
I love the nails. They're great. It's at the lower left of the screen. It says audio and it looks like a little microphone. Maybe we should give David some
Yeah,
time and we'll come back to David.
yeah. We'll move on to the next one and then we'll circle back to you, David. Just let us know once you have the audio turned on. So next up is Deborah Barnhart with her work Bison in the Mist Yellowstone and also Speckled Owl North Georgia Wildlife Park. So Deborah, tell us about your images.
Miriam, thank you for including me. And I'm originally from New Jersey. I don't know how long you've lived there, but I'll refrain from asking what exit. Um,
I finally can tell you I'm 145 off the Parkway.
oh, wow. Not far from where I lived. Actually, I was 131.
Oh, that's so funny. Yes, New Jersey's an interesting state, but it
Believe.
produces good people.
Um, I did want to say to Cynthia, I don't know if she's still here with us, that I'm so very jealous that she got a picture of a leopard. And I was in Africa in 2017 and took pictures of many different animals and never saw a leopard. And yes, they do sit on top of termite mounds.
Cool.
I was in South Africa. And
So tell us about this photo of the bison.
yeah, this was in Yellowstone National Park. And I went there in February, late February, early March. And I had backed out of going about 2 years ago, and I didn't know what was calling me there until I got there. It's so incredibly beautiful, especially in the winter. I think I would go back, although there's so many places I haven't seen. Um, Rudyard Kipling calls Yellowstone a howling wilderness of 3,000 square miles of unimaginable freaks of fiery nature. Yes.
It's
So,
true.
yeah, Yellowstone doesn't sit on a volcano. It is a volcano,
Hmm.
pretty much. So there were plenty of bison, and bison like to eat grass and various, I think maybe sage. So in this part of the ground, it's very warm, and so they're feeding on the grass. You'll
Were
often
you near hot spring
um,
that kept that snow melted so that they could feed on the grass?
I don't remember at that point. I didn't see one. We certainly saw a lot of geysers and hot springs.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah. I honestly don't remember at this point. I was just very much
Okay.
into it's so taking nature photography is not peaceful for me because I'm on a mission, and I think this is really cool because of the flowers in it that kind of circle back over the bison.
Yes, absolutely. I love the misty tranquility again in this photo, but it's the wood and the tree branches above the bison that really frame the bison against the snow in the foreground. And I particularly love the white branches. I can't tell what kind of a tree that is.
Mm.
I don't know if they're flowers or what, but it's a really cool looking tree, and I love the different subtle tones that you can see throughout the tree that are mimicked in the bison.
Mhm.
I am curious if this was a cropped photo. It looks like maybe another bison was cropped off at the left.
Probably. I'm trying to yeah, it looks like I try to standardize. Yeah, but it would have been not a lot of it was cropped off. Uh,
Okay. I was just curious. I'm not against cropping.
mhm.
Um, and the owl, let's talk about the owl photo.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of cropping there. So this was taken at North Georgia Wildlife Park, and I actually went there in search of gray wolves because I did not see any of them other than through a scope in Yellowstone. And this little guy or girl is, of course, in a cage, and I just found its face very interesting, and I'm mesmerized by the eyelashes.
Yes, the eyelashes and the feathers on the side of the
Yes,
nose.
yes, yes. So it's a spectacled owl, and they live in South America. Yeah,
It's a beautiful bird, and I think you've captured its beauty perfectly.
I
Uh,
don't think it's real happy with me there, but
it does have a sort of angry look to it. Maybe it didn't like being in a cage.
well,
I assume it was a non-releasable bird or something like that. I don't know what the North Georgia Wildlife Park
yeah,
is.
there are a lot of places that take in injured animals, and certainly they do. So I'm assuming that was the case here. They do have two gray wolves. Yeah, I would say that the gray wolves didn't look very healthy. They were,
Oh, so maybe it's not a game park that you wanna
yeah, not
support.
exactly. There, I
If
do.
we're talking about conservation, there is this issue about animals kept in game farms just for people to photograph and video, and they're used in films and movies, and they're usually not given very much space, and they're not always treated very well. They're not always given access to veterinary care. So just a PSA, if we're talking about conservation and nature and wildlife, it's always good to, investigate where you're going if it's a private wildlife reserve of any sort.
Well, my going there was the investigation.
Oh, good.
I had asked to photograph the wolves, and you make a good point. They wanted to charge me a lot of money to do
Hmm.
a lot of money.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, congratulations, and you have beautiful photos.
Thank you.
And I
Well,
saw that David is with us again. Should we go back?
oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
So David, yeah, oops. There you go.
yeah, I'm here. Uh,
Hi, David. Tell us about this photo.
oh, thank you. This photo, thank you for the opportunity to being presented in this group with all these other amazing photographers. There's just some great work here, and I'm glad I could be part of it. This image was captured at Stone Mountain, at the very peak of Stone Mountain in Georgia, and it was taken at probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I
Oh,
took the
wow.
I took the picture, and it appears to be night, but I took the picture with two types of. I use film. This was taken with infrared film. I took the photograph with a regular T-Max film, and that one was beautiful too. But this one just had a little more drama to it that gave off the feeling that I felt at the time. I did call it. It's part of a group that I'm working on Stone Mountain, but this was called number 5. But I think if I renamed it, I might call it the Great Experiment because it shows the heavens, the earth, and then man in the center. And I guess the great experiment that we're having with the whole thing.
Well,
Uh,
it is beautiful. I love the infrared treatment and the different shades of gray and tonalities in the photo. The people framed by the clouds that look totally like they're from Lord of the Rings or
Yeah.
something. Like the whole landscape looks like it's from Lord of the Rings, and maybe I jokingly imagine that those are hobbits. But
thank
it it is a beautiful photo.
It's a wonderful place, and I'm part of the reason I started this series was I don't know if you know that much about Stone Mountain, but it has a controversial past. Uh, not we don't have time to get into that right now, but
Okay.
I'm trying to just show the beauty of this incredible place. It was formed when the Earth was forming by the two continents colliding. That's how this was formed, and it's just if people learn more about the history of it, they can really appreciate this place and overlook some of the other things about the history of Stone Mountain.
I think that's a great endeavor. Good for you. And congratulations.
Thank you, Miriam. Appreciate it.
Thanks, David. And that brings us up to Donald Schreck, who has two photographs in the show, Low Tide 6140 and also 6286.
And
And Donald, you're with us here
wait,
tonight?
can I just ask David, can we have like a timeline here? How many people do we have left, or how many photos do we have left?
Uh, Good question. Let's see, these are alphabetized by first name. So we are in the D's. So if we just want to,
Okay.
yeah, shorten, yeah,
Yeah, maybe we should try to shorten the conversations a little bit because I will have to go at 8:30.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
Uh,
this is a beautiful photo. Is Donald here?
Yes,
Donald is here.
I'm
Hi,
here.
Donald. Tell
Uh,
me about is this water and sand on a beach?
yes, it is. I was with the rising sea levels. This was taken on the east end of Long Island um, during the summer, and I spent an entire summer out there exploring the interaction between the water and the sand, almost feeling like that was a membrane of the planet and that it breathes that way. Um, and
I would just walk along the beach and at low tide and find these time stops of the action of the waves coming in or going out and what they do to the sand. I spent a lot of time editing them. I really like to bring out color and make the color in the photographs shapes. And I also, in both of these images, I did a little bit of posterization to try and enhance the granularity of the sand.
Interesting. That's great. And it's well executed too.
Thank
Now,
you.
I'm curious about this photo. From what angle did you take it?
Uh, it's about straight up and down. Um, I
Were
would,
you, so you were standing over the water?
yes. Um,
Cool.
I did a lot of it was a lot of them were made with a 100 millimeter macro.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about a very small surface area. This one would probably be not more than a foot tall or something like that. And
Okay.
the background sand, the mountainous images, lines in the background are from a preceded um, wave that left that line.
Got it.
This is a new wave coming in to erase that.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I'm an ocean person, so I was drawn to these photos and I love the colors and the contrast of the yellow and the blues. So I'll say, they're beautiful in their simplicity and they really, it's like a moment in time of that you have captured. I mean, I guess all photos are a moment in time, but it's such a special moment when the surf reaches the sand, I think, and just in my humble opinion, that to capture it makes it special in itself. So great job and congratulations.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for choosing me.
Thanks, Donald. Up next, we have Elizabeth San Juan with her photograph Biggie Bee, and Elizabeth's with us this evening.
Hello. Hi, David and Miriam. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, you're welcome. Thank you.
So
Would you
this is
like to tell us about this photo a little bit?
Juror. So this is in my backyard in Colorado. I plant flowers and all kinds of plant life to attract bees and hummingbirds. And I have about 5 different hummingbird feeders, which means I have around 40 to 50 hummies that come every summer, which means I fill them up every other day because they drink a lot.
And is the flower lavender?
It is.
Yes,
And
I love lavender. I love the contrast of the purple in the flower to the yellow of the bee.
and these bees are very big. I don't know what kind of bumblebee. I didn't realize that there was over almost 200 kinds of different bees just like in the Colorado West area. So I love bees, obviously, for a reason. They're incredibly critical to us being here.
Hmm.
So I photograph everything, though. I'm going to do a selfish little plug and say that I have a book that was just recently released from Daylight Books. It came out last month.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And that's
Of your
all.
nature photography?
It's all deep winterscapes of trees in Hokkaido, Japan.
Oh, that's
So
fascinating. Well, good job. It's
thank you.
amazing to publish a book. So I know a lot of blood, sweat, and tears goes into that.
It does, but I
Um,
do love wildlife. I photograph everything. I'm pretty much a straight shooter, so whatever you see in the camera, if there's, a little speckle on my lens or something, I'll take it out, but I don't do any kind of post-op stuff.
Well, this bee is beautiful. You've captured incredible detail in the bee, on the bee, the little. I actually have a friend who photographs bees. His name is Clay Bolt. So if you're interested in bee photography, you should look him up. Um, he's very well known for his invertebrate photography. Um, but I've always been curious what it's called that looks like hair, like hairs on the bees. So I'll just call them bee hair. But the bee hair is so you can see every little one of them. So it's a really cool photo. Congratulations and thank you for entering.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thanks, Elizabeth. And Josh Booth has two photographs. He's not with us this evening. He has this photograph here, Eager and Waiting, and Green on Green.
Okay. The green on green, the eager and waiting, which should we go first?
Sorry. Let's go with the Eager and Waiting.
Well, I just thought that this was an interesting perspective on the Venus flytrap because because of the perspective in the photo. Um, that the focus is on, let's say, the second layer in the photo, and then you have all these other layers and fly traps going back in the photo that have been thrown out of focus. So it was just, I just thought it was a cool photo.
And then there's Green on Green.
Yes, I think this might be called an anole lizard, but it's a beautiful photo. I love the name of it too because obviously the photo is so lush with green, and I love how the lizard is just peeking through the leaves, um, and every scale and the eye are sharp and detailed and it makes for a really cool shot. So, congratulations, Josh, and great work.
That brings us next to Kelly Coker, who has two works as well. And she is not with us tonight.
Oh,
She has,
that's too bad. Because I would have liked to have known what was happening in this photo. I think it's a beautiful photo that shows sharing, like community sharing of resources. Um, but I just can't identify what resources in that jar. So you have had a great moment to take a beautiful photo, Kelly. Um, and congratulations, even though I don't know exactly what's in the jar.
and this was her other photograph, Zipper the Blue Dasher Dragonfly.
Yes, this is a great photo of a dragonfly. I love it because it's not just a dragonfly on a single stick. Uh, most dragonfly photos are either on a stick or on a like a reed in the water, and there's not much to them. What I think is very interesting about this photo is that the stick has so much magic to it. It's so dynamic. And the dragonfly is so pretty that they just the colors of the photo all work together, the green background, and you can see the details in the dragonfly just beautifully. Its legs, its eyes, it's I don't even know what some of those parts are called, but they're beautifully captured. And I think that the color of the dragonfly, the green and the blue in the dragonfly, and its dark wings contrast beautifully with the green leaves in the background and the twisty pale stick in the foreground. So it's a great photo and a really pretty insect. Congratulations, Kelly.
And this photograph by Lawrence Russ called Couple on a Hedge with Wild Rosebuds. And unfortunately, Lawrence wasn't able to make it tonight.
Okay. Well, I think this is a lovely photo for the same reason that the other photo of the two yellow orioles were. It's a behavioral photo and it shows a lovely, tender moment between two sparrows. I don't know if one is sharing a seed that I possibly see in the one on the left's mouth, or if they're just talking to each other. But I love the green at the top of the photo. I think it really sandwiches the sparrows with the green at the bottom of the photo, and then the red berries are just the cherry on top. Um, no, really, no pun intended. Sorry, that was so bad. But it's a great photo. So congratulations, Lawrence.
And then next up is Loic Dalmau. I'm not sure how you pronounce your last name, Loic, but he's with us tonight, so he can tell me.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me and thank you very much for accepting my photo. Yeah, so it's Loic, but yeah, don't worry, it's French. It's a bit complicated to. It's a bit like Luke, and so yeah, for this photo, so I'm very interested in astrophotography, as you can see. I'm still learning a lot, and this time. So I just moved to Atlanta and I was like scouting for places to go do astrophotography, which is not an easy thing here in Georgia because of the incredible amount of big cities and light pollutions on the East Coast of the US. But I did find a few places, and this one, this summer, I went to Cumberland Island in southern Georgia, because I saw on the map that there was a little light pollution on the Atlantic side of the island. And so I planned to go on a weekend on this quest for doing astrophotography on the beach. And so I went on this, I had to take a boat to go to the island, then hike to this beach. It's called Stafford Beach. And I was also hoping to see some turtles, but didn't see any. But yeah, I got very kind of lucky to be there. It really reflects the place that I was, this beach where there's just no one. I was completely alone, and it was kind of a very meditative moment, actually, because it was just facing the Atlantic Ocean, and yeah, and the sky was great. I got a little lucky as well because some clouds came just right after I had to. I took this photo. Like this photo is a lot of different frames that I combined, and
Okay.
so it took me about 20 minutes to half an hour to actually take all the frames for this photo, which is about maybe 50 frames. I mean, I tripled the amount of frames for every of captures for every frame. Um,
Oh, you mean you bracketed them?
I just did interval shooting.
Right.
So to set like to take 3 photos for each frame
Okay.
to reduce the amount of noise, and it's
Oh, I understand. And it's a beautiful photo. You've done a great job capturing the Milky Way. And I assume you're wearing a headlamp. Is that what's creating the red light?
that's right. Yes.
That's what really makes or breaks the photo. It's the red light, because you never see that on a beach. Um, the red light and the Milky Way and the person standing there just integrate together so perfectly. It's such a simple photo, and composition, but it's truly beautiful. And it brings me to the ocean too, so I appreciate that. So, congratulations, Luke.
And
So
you also had this photograph that's in the show, this prehistoric encounter.
yeah, so I was on this beach trying to find some turtles, and which explains why I was also having this red light. It wasn't really planned for the photo, but it turned out nice.
Oh,
But
I see. Because you don't want to use bright lights when there are sea turtles because it might confuse their orientation.
that's right. Yeah, they were like it was like hatchling period, so
Yes. You don't
um,
want to confuse the hatchlings.
yeah, they could be disoriented to go towards the
They're
coast.
supposed to go towards the light of the moon over the water.
Probably, yeah, I think you're right. And yeah, and just to go to the ocean instead of the pollution, the artificial lights. But I didn't find any, and so, but I did see some horseshoe crabs, and so this picture is also a bit edited. Not, I mean, everything is in the right location, but I did two, I guess a focus tag. I focused on the stars for the sky and did a second shot for the focus on the horseshoe crab.
I love the way the stars are in focus, along with a horseshoe crab. It gives it kind of an a mystical look, like it might be from another planet. Um, and I do adore this photo just because it captures such an interesting creature in such simplicity. So the stars are beautiful, the clouds are beautiful, the clouds and the beach are kind of the same pure white color, but very soft and not too bright. So you just did a great job capturing this. And apparently you're also very good with your computer.
Thank you so much. Yeah, yeah, I love editing part as well. It's kind of where I can bring my artist mind to it. I mean, my artistic touch a little bit more.
Yes,
I mean, the photo is,
I agree.
but yeah,
It's
I love
fun.
it. Yeah, it's almost yeah, it takes even almost longer to edit
Yes,
than.
you can totally fall down a Photoshop wormhole. It's very easy.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you and
And
congratulations.
Thanks. So
so I think we're rolling in towards the end. I'm not 100% sure how many photographs we have left, but we should be coming up on the last ones. And just want to give you a 9-minute warning, Miriam, to let you know we're
Yes.
coming up on 8:30. So this photo is by Murdy Cope, who is with us this evening. So Murdy, would you like to tell us about this photograph?
Sure. Thank you, Miriam, for um, selecting this photo. I did a workshop in the Dolomite Mountains in Italy in September, and this is one of the first pictures that I took actually on the first morning that we went out. This area is known for skiing, in addition to the beautiful scenery. The mountains are so different. In a lot of places, it looked like there was snow on the mountains in these um, streaks of white. This one is not quite as contrasty, but it's actually limestone dust that makes those streaks. And there's not a lot of trees on the mountains. Um, they're very steep, and they look so different from the mountains we're used to seeing in Georgia, that have trees all over them.
And I believe
They're
the Dolomites are newer mountains. And that's what gives them the dramatic look that of being carved and like they look like they've just erupted from the earth, right?
Yes, yes. And
Um, and
because they're real soft rock, you don't see a lot of mountain climbers, on the sides of the mountains like you do at like Yosemite and those kind of
mhm,
places.
so
But
it's not safe
there
for
is a lot of
climbers.
hiking,
Okay.
correct.
So let's talk
So
about this
anyway,
photo a little bit. You've captured like three, I would say three layers in this photo, or you could say many layers in the foreground. But I do love the greenery and the little evergreen trees that speckle the green hills and the foothills of the mountains, and the drama of the clouds casting the shadows and highlights on the mountains is what makes it really special, the photo really special. I think the highlights on the right mountain from the sun give it an extra little something special. And the clouds are just so cool, and how the Dolomites just disappear up into the clouds. So you did a great job with this very first photo you took. So that look at that. That's really cool. And you captured it and you nailed it. Good job and congratulations.
thank you. Thanks for including it.
Thanks, Murdy. And these are the last two photographs from Ryan Ah, this Antarctic dance and Golden Gate.
Pangolin.
Unfortunately, Ryan was not able to be with us tonight because they went to the gallery thinking this was an in-person
Oh
talk.
no.
So
Oh
they were not.
well. I love this penguin photo because they're all in formation. Um, I think they're Gen 2 penguins. Not positive about that, but they're they might be. And I love the way they're all leaping into the water at the same time. It looks to me like they've just come out, they've leapt out of the water and they're headed back in. And I think it's really cool that the beaks of the two penguins on the right are just slicing the surface of the water. And the different layers of the ice and the water as you move back through the photo are very interesting to look at, but they don't overshadow the penguins. And the ice in the foreground kind of frames the penguins with the ice in the background. So it's a very well done photo. Good job, Ryan. And the pangolin in the next photo, how many of you know that the pangolin is an endangered species and is the most trafficked mammal in the world? You don't have to talk,
I did not know.
but it is a really cool creature that lives in Africa and Asia. There are a couple of different species. Their scales are made out of keratin, which is the same thing as your fingernails. Unfortunately, in Asia and specifically China, they still think that keratin has medicinal uses. So these pangolins are trafficked and they're so easy to catch because when they feel threatened, they roll up in a ball and those scales turn into armor. But they are just a little ball. So it's really easy for people to just pick them up and put them in a box and send them to China.
Wow.
So this photo is an important photo. People are really they're just starting to photograph pangolins, and pangolins are getting a little more attention now. But this photo has captured the pangolin in beautiful light. I love the dust coming out of the back foot, where I think it's touched the earth, and you can see its nose and its eye is visible. And that's very hard to do because the pangolin, its eyes are overshadowed by its scales, and the sky is a little washed out, but it creates a beautiful contrast to the darkness of the pangolin. So I think this is a wonderful photo to end on, because it is such a hotbed of conservation matters right now. And I'll say thank you to Ryan and congratulations. And congratulations to everybody. I would also like to add that I am available for freelancing. I am a retoucher in case you need help with your photos, making them perfect. And I also do portfolio reviews, and I can help curate photo competition entries, website galleries, stuff like that. So you can just find me at miriamsteinbattles.com.
Wonderful. Well, Miriam, thank you so much for working with us on this exhibition. The photographs you selected are fantastic. They look good in conversation with each other in the gallery. I'll send you some installation shots so you can see how the show
I'd love to
looks.
see. Thank you.
Yeah. And congratulations to everybody that was able to join us tonight and whose work is in the show. Um, and with that, we came up right on 8:30, almost exactly. So,
Perfect.
yeah.
So
So
thank
thanks,
you,
everybody.
David.
Yeah. And this recording will be available tomorrow on our YouTube channel. So I'll be sharing this with the artists here tonight and also the ones who couldn't make it.
Okay, take care, everybody.
Great.
Congratulations and great work.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.